Hello, teachers. Welcome to the new year. This is the instructional guide for Primary 3 Mathematics, Term 1, Week 1. So for those of you who have not taught with us previously, we have actually done some of the Primary 3 topics when they were in Primary 2 in the last 2 weeks of the lesson last year. So this is a follow-through, right? This is the continuation. Now today, for this week, I've actually prepared 3 booklets. I'm not sure whether the third booklet can be completed. Let's see how it goes. But the priority is to have the first 2 booklets conducted, the lesson for the 2 booklets conducted in the first week of the class. Okay, so the first booklet is this one over here, right? 0304 on 2/2. So for the first few questions, it's actually quite easy. I do not need, for those of students who came earlier, you can actually get them to do the first few questions while waiting, okay? So you don't really have to teach them this. It is actually quite straightforward, but do remind them that it's always good to count the numbers, right? To compare the numbers first with, or rather they got to write it down, right? By writing the highest digit value first, okay? So they should write 3542 and not 2453. Okay, so that's quite simple. The rest really quite straightforward here. All right, I think they should be able to do. Okay, so I think one of the things that once everyone has arrived, okay, you can start off by teaching question 6, but just do a bit, right, so that we can do the rest. And the way that I will teach them to do this question is to just put tick and cross right on the sides here first, right, to get them sorted out. So, for example, you can do the first 3 with them. 1807, 1807, is it smaller than 1870? So if it is true, right, put a tick. If it's false, put a cross. Okay, then 4671, is it smaller than 4716? If it is 6 true, put a tick, right? What about this one here, 3906, is it greater than 3960? It is false, so put a cross there. So remind them to do this working on the sides first, and after that, you can transfer the answers here. Right, true, they write it here, false, they write it here. So no need to complete everything, okay, unless you have some students who are quite fast, right? Make sure that they just do the first 3 with them, and then they can do the rest at home, right, as homework. For this question here, number 7, just take note that, remind them that color boxes with numbers, they have to pay attention to the instruction. So smaller than, so they here they're looking at numbers smaller than the given number. Right, so there's a given number here. So looking at number n, is it only one number? No, it is not. Remind them that they are looking for at least one number because it says numbers here. All right, so they have to understand the instruction. So no need to do this in class, but just remind them. Question 8, same thing, right? Numbers. Okay, so numbers can be more than 1. I think this one instruction is not clear. You can look at it. It's there's only 1 here, but just tell them that. Perhaps remind them that when you see the S there, it could be more than 1. Okay, and then now they're looking for greater than, and then given number. Okay, greater than the given number, and these are all the given numbers. All right, so just remind them of the instruction here, right? And here's smaller stuff. I think this is quite easy, so I will not get into. Okay, for this kind of question, they have been taught previously. In order to do this question, you've got to write the numbers out so it's easier for them. So for example, 3,500, right? How do you write 3,500? 3,500. Okay, then it's easier for them to look at the numbers here, right? So write the numbers on top, 3,000. Okay, this is 400. And then 110, 110 is like that. Okay, so circle the greatest number, cross out the smallest number. All right. And then let's see, 6,305 tens and 4,009. Yeah. So get them to write the numbers out. Okay, and let's see, compare the numbers between the gram. I think this is easy enough. Okay, no need to do with them. All right. But right, I would say do question 30. Okay. Sometimes students can get very confused with number line. So Rachel is given the number 4,800. Mark X with any other 3 numbers, number line that are greater than 4,800. Okay, so any that are greater, right? Mark X. I think it's actually quite easy though. Okay, so I think should not be a problem. I'll tell you what, I think let's forget about getting them to do question 13, right? It's quite straightforward. Okay, even if it is wrong, during corrections it's correctable, quite easy. This one can be an unusual question. So I think do 14A with them. What numbers are A and B in boxes? Okay, so here, 4,500, 5,500. Okay, so what is the scale here? Ask them to count first, right? What do you think, right? Some may think that it's 4,501, 4,502, and then it will not make sense, right? So there's no quick way of teaching them this, right? Because even if you tell them that you count 10 and then you divide, right? Or you take 5,500 minus 4,500 and divide by 10 plus 100, they have not done division yet. Okay, so the best way is for them to trial and error. Some actually will be able to get it, right? Some will go 4,510, 4,520, 4,030, 40, 50, right? So, but the correct answer is actually adding in terms of 100, 4,600, 4,700. Okay, then have to write what this is. A is here, right? And then B is here, and after that, fill these blanks. Okay, so these should be quite easy. And I think after that, right, these they should be able to do, right? If you think they are not very sure yet, you can do a 15A with them, right? And 15B, right? Only for those who are not sure. Okay, so when it comes to this question, again, ask them to write out numbers. It is easier, right? So 1,500s. Okay, so 500s. And then 1,300s, previously we have taught them this way. Hundreds means 2 zeros. So 1,300s will be 300. Sorry, 1300. And then 148 tens, tens means 0, so it's 1480. Okay, and then they will be able to arrange. Make sure, all right, some of them may make a mistake of arranging based on the numbers, right? No, they are supposed to use the number words instead. So if they arrange it according to the numbers here in ascending order, right? Oh yeah, I forgot about this word ascending order here, right? And rate ascending, ask them whether they understand whether it is from smallest to greatest or greatest to smallest. Okay, so but when they write answer, they should write the number words, not in the numbers itself. Okay, and then I think the rest are quite straightforward. So this one, maybe just do A and B with them. Okay, what do they have to do? They have to write the numbers out here. Sorry, they have to write the numbers out here, correct, right? 18, so for example, 18 tenths. 180 is the same as, there should be with them here, is the same as, I think cancel the 10, right? There's an error here. Okay, and then so this should be false, right? 3,800, 3,800 is greater than 3,800. So they write 3,800, 3,800. Okay, so that's false as well. Right, so do the first two with them. I remind them that the method is for them to write out numbers first, right? For the two numbers in number form, so it's easier for them to see. Okay. And then after that, do a question 23 with them, right? This is to help them remember the odd number and even number. So you might want to ask them what's odd, what is even. Okay, all right. So, and then remind them that for them to do a more than 1 digit odd number, all they need to do is the digit 1 should be odd. All right. Some students have this misconception that all the numbers must be odd, so they get confused. No, right? For any numbers that are more than 1 digit, okay, no, just remind them that as long as the one place value is, the ones place value is an odd number, it's an odd digit, right? That's fine. All right, okay. So they have to pay attention, like the instructions, right? So just do one with them. And then question 25. So Tom is thinking of number between 5,000 and 6,000. So they know that the way that we tell students that these are all 5-digit numbers. So help them out by asking them to draw, 4-digit places. Help them out by getting them to write 4 blanks, right? Because it's these are all 5 digits. And after that, we can make a few in the blanks in there. Okay, all right. So let them try this out, right? Because we don't have a lot of practice question for them here. All right, so all you need is just guidance, all right? Tell them to start off like that and then to solve it at home. Okay. The other one here is this is a use a guess and check method. Okay, so what I'll suggest is that you teach them, you help them, or rather teach them how to draw this table. and draw the first column for them. Okay, then you ask them, right, for homework, right? Obviously, the first one, right, they try like that is wrong. Then for homework, they can try out, like what if the digit is in the digit in the tens place is 2, right? What kind of answer would they get? Okay, all right. So, all right, let's move on to the booklet number 2. Booklet number 2 is comparing of numbers, more than, less than. Okay, I think they should be quite familiar. So just quickly go through. 10 more than 3241 is basically 3,241 plus 10, right? 10 more than is plus 10. Okay. And then less than, all right, 10 less than 3,241 is minus 10. Okay. And then you can actually go through this number line with them, right? So for example, let's just go with 100 more than. So 100 more than is a plus 100. So when they do this pattern question, they must always draw this thing in, right? Remind them. Later on, there'll be questions that will require them to do that. All right, so use this number line to help them understand minus 100, and so on. Okay, guided practice. Please get them to do everything in class. Right, as per normal, guided practice, we get them to do in class, and then you check on the spot. Okay, make sure that the answers are corrected before we move on. Okay, then we move on to number patterns, right? How to do number patterns. Okay, so same thing, they have to draw this line, right? So usually, the question will be in the form of 6,450, and then after that 6,450 and then blank, right? And then 6,750 and then blank. So they have to figure out what's the so-called difference, right? Whether it is 100, whether it's a plus or minus. Okay, all right. So I would not worry about the checking part, right? So don't have to do the checking part. So just quickly take them through this and get them to do questions like this one instead, right? Guided practice, you might want to start. So ask them, do this, right? How do you get from 4879 to 4889? Some students will be able to immediately tell you it's plus 10, right? If they don't know, then you got to teach them how to do it. So 4879, 4889, which is smaller, which is bigger? 4889 is bigger. Take 4889 minus 4879, right? So that's one way for them to do it. So they should have the good habit of doing all these pattern arrows here, right? And then write the increase or decrease, right? If it is increased by how much? In this case, these are all plus 10. So make sure that they do all this. So this is all a good habit. Okay, and then they will be able to get the answer, right? So just do the first one with them, and then the rest they can do on their own. Okay. So independent practice, 10 less than this, I think is quite easy. Verbally, just ask them. They don't have to do it. Ask them, okay, students, tell me, 10 less than 1,343, what must I do? Tell you 1,343 minus 10, right? 1,000 more than 3,524, right? So you may ask a few students, right? There are a lot of questions to they don't have to get answer, right? So we don't need to get them the answer correctly, just as long as they know how to do it. Right here is just moving backwards by 10, or moving forward by 10, moving forward by 100, or moving backwards. Okay, right? I think this is quite easy, right? So I wouldn't have to worry too much about getting them to do so many of this in class. Perhaps question 6. Do question 6 because here it's a bit different. Right? Okay, especially this one over here. 7,438 is how many less than 8,438, right? So how many less? So this is bigger number, smaller number, take bigger number minus smaller number. All right, it's always about finding the difference, locating the difference here. Okay, bigger number minus smaller number, right? If it is a case like that. All right, 200 is what more than this. Okay, let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention about the instructional rule, right? So they can actually write minus 10 to get the next number, or plus 100 to get the next number, right? Just now over here, I forgot to mention about it, okay, which you can mention. So we can actually skip think some of these questions are quite easy, right? So all these. Okay, perhaps do, let's see, Jane created a number pattern using the grid below. Find any two numbers patterns using the grid. Yeah, so it's up to them, right? This one they can do a few, right? They can either do it this way, which is plus 11, plus, yeah, it's all plus 11, you notice, right? I think this will be fun, right? See whether they can find different kind of patterns. Okay. All right, and then let them try writing out on their own. I think A and B will be good to do in class, do 10 A and B. Okay, and let's see. This one, I think, do it with them. Right, let's do it with them. Study a pattern below. If this pattern continues, which addition of 5 consecutive will give a total of 215? Okay, so quite interesting here. So add 25 to get the total to the next 5 consecutive numbers, right? So then they will know that the next answer will be, yeah, right, we go this way here, 21, right, 26. Right, so they'll know that the pattern is always plus 15, right? Sorry, see here, plus 15, add 25 to get the total. Yeah, it's always at 25. Right, the next number would be, so they have to work it out. Right, from 16 onwards, the next one will be, because there's a pattern, right? Plus 5, plus 5. So the next number is 21. After that will be 26, 31, 36. Okay, so important for you to do this in class with them. Right, for this question, a bit challenging. Now, for the heuristics, okay, I'm not sure whether they will be able to complete within 1 hour, right? All the 3 booklets. So what I'll suggest is start teaching if there's time. Let me know, right? Give me feedback. If let's say, because you guys will be conducting the first class tomorrow, if you find that students have problem, like finishing up, or getting ready for the last book, let me know, and I'll tell the rest as well to slow down, right? But if you do have the time, yeah, I think most likely you'll not be able to finish everything, at least get things started, right? So start on the first question, right? Get them to think about how a question like this is done, right? The pattern continues, which additional 5 so this is very similar to the last question that we did just now, right? Work them through. Okay, in fact, let me see. This one you can verbally ask them, so they know that it is about, the pattern is about adding, let's see, so add 2, right? But over here, you can see 50, 50, it's at 50, right? So they can add from here. So draw it this way so they can see it as well. So it's plus 50. So the next one will be, right? And then you will have to continue at 50 until it gets to around 80. Okay, you may demonstrate on the board or on the e-whiteboard with them as well. Okay, so this is an important question to do. This marks the start of primary 3, apart from guess and check, right? So they are supposed to find the 25th shape. First thing that they need to do is recognize how many patterns, what is the repeating pattern here. So you see the repeating pattern is like this. Right? So what it means is every repeating pattern has 4 shapes in there. Right? So there's 4 shapes in there. So get them to recognize that 4 shape. So what that means is then follow through. I can use this to teach them. So in order to find the 25th shapes, and they know that there's 4 shapes in each group, all they need to find out is, let's find out, how many groups of 4 shapes can we get before we reach to the 25th shape. So they can try out multiplication, right? First group is 1 times 4. Second group is 2. If you have 2 groups, it will be 2 times 4. And then 3 groups, 3 times 4. And then, so closest to 25th, but not over 25th yet. And then they'll find out that it's actually 6 groups. So 6 groups will get you 24 shapes. So that means the last shape in the 6th group, you can actually write this down here so that you can see clearly this is the 6th group. This is the 5th group. All right, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 early on. So this 6th group has the 24th shape. So 25th shape would be the first shape in the group, which is the diamond. All right, so take some time to go through this with them. After that, you can get them to do, I think this one is quite easy. They can do on their own. Okay, but for this question, may need a bit of a guidance. So I think for this heuristic question, yeah, right, again, guidance here, draw figure 5. Okay, most I think should be able to get it. Okay, so note the difference. It's always adding 1 on top, 1 to the right, 1 on top, 1 to the right, 1 on top, 1 to the right, 1 on top, 1 to the right. Okay, but how do you describe it? Right, so that's a model answer there. We see the number of dots increase by 2 each time, 1 on each side. Okay, I'm not sure whether each side is the best, so maybe you say 1 on top, then 1 on the right. I think that may be better. Okay, after that, show them how to write this figure out, this table out, right, number of dots, and then we should be able to see the pattern. So it's actually plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Okay, so I think we should get to here by then, and then after that, okay, all these questions, right, you can get them to do in class, right, on their own, but please supervise them, right? Some students may have problem doing this. I foresee that you will not be able to complete everything, right? So let's use it. Let's continue next week, okay? But at least finish, if possible, finish the teaching part, and then the guided practice part if possible, right? But do let me know, right? Keep me updated so that I can inform the rest. And this is for curriculum-based classes. Thank you. Sorry that this took a longer time for the first lesson. I'll see you in class soon.